Today, we have a super special episode of The Inspiration Show, and we're going to be having double the fun because I have two incredible guests joining me from their dressing rooms at the Bernard B. Jacobs Theater on Broadway, where they perform Parade. Emily Rose DeMartino and Sophia Manicone are here joining me on The Inspiration Show. Thank you so much, Emily and Sophia, for joining me. It's such an honor to have you. So much love for you both.
Thank you for having us. Happy to be here.
Do I have your permission to post this episode of The Inspiration Show on social media?
Of course.
Awesome. So when did you discover that you had a passion for singing and theater?
Do you want to go first? Sure. Okay. I think I was around 5 years old. My mom put me in backyard theater, which is like right across the street from my house. It was like near this little airport field, like in a barn type of setting. And I took a few classes there with my best friends, and I just fell in love with it. And I remember singing Rainbow Connection for our showcase. And after that, I did a few shows at community theater. And I think when I did Les Mis and I played Young Cosette was the first time I really realized this is what I want to do, like my whole life. And I know it was early on in my life, but I think that was really the start of everything that evolved after that.
Yeah. So for me, I was super shy when I was younger, to the point where like it was an issue. I did not want to talk to people. I was so introverted. And I had a second grade teacher who saw that and talked to my parents and was like, she should try theater or something so she can get used to public speaking and talking and that kind of thing. And I tried it, and to everyone's surprise, I loved it. It really helped me come out of my shell as a person, as well as a performer. And yeah.
I love it. It's so amazing how theater started, for you, Emily, as a passion, and Sophia, for you to help you out. And it's just so special that, you find this love for it and it becomes your whole life. And like, look where you are now. It's so special.
It really is. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So what inspired you to become a performer, and who has been an inspiration of yours throughout your career?
I think that really everyone I work with or have ever worked with has inspired me in so many ways. Even like my friends from my high school theater, like I learn off of everyone, and people inspire me every day. But definitely the people in this cast, like I've looked up to some of them for years, and just being able to work with them and see them create such beautiful art every single night is just so rewarding. And so like it makes me learn different things and inspires me every day. So I'm really lucky to work with them.
Yeah, definitely have to second that. Getting to watch, when you come see the show, you get to see, we sit on stage for pretty much the whole show. And we get to see everybody make new choices every night. And it's really cool to like watch people's process. Aside from that, I would definitely say a big inspiration for me has been my voice teacher back home. I got to see her in some shows when I was younger. Like I saw her in Into the Woods. She was Cinderella. And just like seeing different people I've worked with continue their careers on has been super inspiring.
I love it. I love how when, you learn from people and you get to see them on that stage, or like the Parade cast, you're all just so incredible and just so amazingly talented. And I can't wait to see the show live.
Just
the way that you tell every night, it's so special, and just the way you tell it, it's just amazing.
Thanks. Oh my gosh.
Can you take us back to the first time that you experienced theater and how you're feeling at the time?
Okay. I think the first time I really got to experience theater was when I saw Annie on Broadway. It's like every little girl's Annie. I think I was like, I want to say like 9 maybe, or 8. It was my first Broadway show. I remember we were like way high up in the mezzanine, and I was scared of heights. So I was like, oh, this is high. But I like remember the music started and I immediately calmed down. And I remember watching the other little girls, and I was like, that's what I want to do. What they're doing right now is what I want to do. I want to be on that stage right now. And after that, I just had this like overwhelming feeling that like that's what I was meant to do. So it was a mind opener and gave me so much motivation to just keep working, and it was amazing.
Yeah. I think for me, the first time I experienced it was when I was 3. I saw Mary Poppins on Broadway, and my parents had us sit in like the very back just in case like I got freaked out by the flying or anything. But I ended up really loving watching it. And yeah, I think a lot of us have similar stories of seeing your first Broadway show and just being like totally starstruck. And yeah.
It's so special because it's amazing what theater can do for a person, and the way that it like, it gravitates you and it like pulls you in. And if you could go back like to tell your younger selves you're gonna be making your Broadway debut like years later, it's just, I can't imagine what that feeling is like. And just experiencing theater as a young kid, like it has a different effect on everyone. Like if you were to go see Annie or Mary Poppins again, I'm sure it would have a different effect on you, but it's the exact same show, exact same script. And it's just amazing to see how, you can really excel from seeing a show and how it shapes you into who you are, and for us as performers.
Yeah. It definitely like stuck, like I still have that show in my mind. I can still like remember everything, when like there's so many things I don't remember from being 8 years old. So it definitely like it really stuck in my head, and I think that's really crazy.
So you are both currently making your Broadway debut in Parade. Emily portrays the role of Essie, and Sophia portrays the role of Iola Stover. Parade tells the true story of Leo and Lucille Frank, who were a Jewish couple living in Georgia when Leo is falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit. The show teaches us lessons of humanity, faith, trust, love, and justice. Can you share with us a little bit about your Parade journey leading up to this point?
Yeah, so I wasn't in the city center production of Parade. I joined for the Broadway transfer, and I didn't know too much about the show before going into it. I've heard of it. I've seen the show, like parts of it, like on YouTube, and like just like came across it before I even knew this was going to happen. And so before our first rehearsal, I did a lot of research, and it's like sad because I didn't really learn anything about the story in school, or even of anti-Semitism, so I had to take that for myself and go and search for more knowledge, because I wanted to be more educated going into the show. And I think just working with this cast has been so helpful and has taught me so much, and really gives me the opportunity to like dig into the story and dig into what my character's purpose was. And it's been amazing. I couldn't ask for like a Broadway show better than Parade. Like it's just great to have Sophia and Ashlyn like next to me, like working with them. It's like it's a heavy show, so having the support is really also really helpful.
Yeah, I know we have some special moments, the three of us. Like after we do our trio, we always like do a group hug, and it works in character, but it's also just nice like as friends to get to be like, okay, we did it. We can take a deep breath. So I know my Parade journey was a little different. I did the City Center production back in November that I got through a self-tape, and then one more in-person callback. And then around like December, I got the call that we were transferring to Broadway, which was so exciting. And, of course, the process has just been so amazing. And having new people join the cast was super exciting too, to get like new perspectives and watching people just step in. Like Emily's been incredible. Like I know there's sometimes like we would do a scene and we'd forget that like we hadn't done it yet. And Emily would just like, I don't know, like you were like reading our minds or something. Like you just like, knew what to do. Like it was amazing.
I love that. And it's such a special show, and for this story to be told through theater, it's just amazing. And speaking for myself as a young Jewish girl and as a performer as well, for this story to be told on Broadway by such incredible talented people that were close to the age of like the real people, it's amazing. And when you see the show, you really don't realize that it was real life. So, to think back on it, because not many true stories are being told on Broadway or are made into a musical, but for it to be told through theater, I personally think arts and theater is the best way to tell a story and to get a message across. And you guys just do it so beautifully.
Thank you. I really think that our show is special like that. I think it really makes people consider and like wonder things about their own life and what they're doing. I think our show really helps to create more empathy, which that's like definitely the best thing theater can do. So I love that we get to share that.
It's such a gift. So when you were first given the script for this incredible piece of theater, how did you approach it and interpret this story and these characters, knowing that it was a true story and it was real people?
So, like I said, I did a lot of research like on my own before going into the show, especially because I hadn't done it before the Broadway transfer and I really wanted to educate myself. But also we had a dramaturg who gave us this huge packet with like all of their backstories and information like on the show and Leo's life. And it really helped go into that process. And I know we were giving a lot of resources like a sensitivity specialist who kind of like prepared us for the heavy material that we were dealing with, which was really helpful. And since we're the younger people of the cast and we're portraying kids that were 12 and 13 years old, it was really important to take that time and realize what we were doing.
Yeah. I think, as you were saying, it's super important when you're approaching a piece of work that's based on real life to really understand the background. And that packet was like 40 pages long. It was super helpful getting to just read about how these girls lived and like what their life was like what might influence them. And we could even read the actual testimonies that they gave because it's all out there like in court records. And it's just really interesting to see how our writer Alfred Yuri like drew from what they truly said, and as well as Jason to like make that into a song. And I think just handling the work with like sensitivity and knowing that these are real people and honoring that is important.
Yeah, it's very tough material, but it's just done so beautifully. And, for it to be real people, but to have the actors, getting to bring themselves into the role is really special because you didn't get to meet the real people, obviously. So to have kind of your interpretation based off of the research and the things that you were told, it's amazing how you can create that character, even though it was a real person, and bring yourselves to it as well.
Yeah.
So after rehearsals and an incredible run at New York City Center, many incredible previews on Broadway, and now being officially open on Broadway, what's your favorite part and most challenging part about doing the show?
I love everything about the show. I think my favorite part is probably one, doing the show with these people every night, and two, being able to kind of get different reactions from the audience and like maybe like find things different in my character, like even deeper, and see like how that's affecting the audience and how the story is coming across. I think it's really cool because yes, it has to be consistent, but also it's like I feel like you can learn so much. It's never ending about the story.
Yeah, totally. Like finding like flexibility within like the framework that our director has put down is super fun. I would say one of the best parts is getting to learn from everyone. Then on like a less serious note, one of the best parts is like just hanging out backstage. Like we like to dance during some of the songs. Like you should see Emily and me during Feel the Rainfall. Like we are dancing for our lives backstage. Or like we have a prank war with Paul Nolan.
I saw that.
It's just so fun. Like finding the moments of levity backstage before you have to be serious on stage is so important.
Definitely in a show like this. You find those like cool moments where you get to just like have fun.
Yeah, find a little moment to laugh because not much of that at all on stage.
Because breaking character on stage is a big thing, and having so many cast members on to hear about what you do backstage is so special because to keep that positive, happy, fun attitude that you all have, it's really hard when you're dealing with such rough material. But I think it's so important that you guys are telling this story and that you guys get to do this and that you get to be yourselves backstage and have a little bit of fun while being kind of sad on stage. But
it's definitely a good reminder, like being able to be friends with everyone. A good reminder of what we say to each other and do to each other on stage is not how we feel in real life.
Yes.
To just really put it out there that like we all love each other despite.
Confirm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were all like, just to hear about the relationships that you all share, normally you can see how close a cast is on stage. And I know the closeness between you all because I love you all so much. But, to be on stage, having to have that chemistry and, having to do those rough things or say those rough things because it's what people went through. It's important to bring awareness to that, but it's also important to keep those amazing relationships.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So how does it make you feel to be telling this story, and what elements of the show inspire you, and what positive messages have you taken away from Parade personally?
I think it's really important to realize that the story is still timely, and not only are we trying to like get the message across to people and to inform the audience and to tell this beautiful story, but I think something really positive out of all of it is we do get to create such beautiful relationships with everyone. And I think it also I don't know, I can't speak for anyone else, but it also educated me so much and like made me have so much respect. And I will always, always love this story and advocate for this story. And I think that's something really beautiful that came out of this and such a learning experience.
Yeah. I doing this show every night really makes me feel so empowered that we're getting to share this message and spread awareness, and just knowing that you're making a difference feels really good. I totally agree. There's so many positives to take away from being in this experience. I think it's really taught me the power that theater has in everyone's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love what you said, to be making a difference, because you're making a huge difference telling this story, because it hasn't been told on Broadway, I want to say, in a very long time. I don't know the exact amount of time, so I don't want to get it wrong, but it hasn't been told for so long. And, to have it back being told because the story is so timely, like you said, and, to make a difference by theater and telling this beautiful story, it's so, so special.
Yeah.
So by being a part of the show every night, with audience members coming from all over the world, what is one lesson or message that you'd like audience members to take away from the show?
I think really the biggest thing I want is just to educate people, and which I'm sure a lot of our audience members are educated coming into seeing this show and this story, but also there could be some that aren't and just love the music or love Ben Platt or love Michaela. Like they you never know like if they actually know the whole story, and I think that it tells it so beautiful. So for people to just take it and decide what they want to do with this and like what they're going to think after, I think that's just really beautiful, and just educating is really the most I want to do.
Totally. I hope that people can take that education they get from the show and really become advocates and speak up when they see injustices, and learn that love is the most important thing and we should put all of our other differences aside.
Yeah, it's true, because like they say, all you need is love. And I'm just so happy. I was so happy when I got the post that it was transferring to Broadway, because I'm in Toronto, and I think I can speak for a lot of people when they say that they couldn't make it to New York to see the show at City Center. So to have it on Broadway running for longer, and just to know that this story is being told on a Broadway stage for a significant period of time, it's just so special, like you said, to be able to have that opportunity to educate those people and to inspire people to be advocates and speak up when they see injustice.
Yeah.
So the cast album for Parade has been recorded and was released March 23rd. What was your experience like being in the studio recording these beautiful songs and getting to be a part of an original Broadway cast album?
I mean, it was crazy.
Oh my
I remember
gosh.
walking in, and the first thing we recorded was Factory Girls. So yeah, we
nerve-wracking.
It was very nerve-wracking. I was so nervous, but we walked in and it was like this beautiful recording studio, and we both had our own little station. And so we went into the recording studio, and it was like we had our binder there and like the microphone, and they had little water bottles for us, and it was just so cool. Like, it was honestly surreal being in there and having Jason Robert Brown conducting us and like recording with people that like I've looked up to for so many years and singing with them. It's just, it was an honor, and it was just such a fun experience.
Yeah, it was so cool. We all had our own little booths, but we had like windows so we could like look over and see each other. There was like a little panel of knobs you could like turn up people's volume, and just having a monitor of like JRB and then Ben Platt, like it was like I know, like we're both from the generation that like Dear Evan Hansen was like
and Pitch
so
Perfect.
popular.
Yeah, it's how I found my love for theater. It was Evan Hansen.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And like we both have memories of seeing Pitch Perfect in the movie theater, and like now we're singing with Ben Platt. It's insane. And it was such a magical experience, especially the big group numbers that were more towards the end. We were really comfortable, and we got to like stand with other people in our voice part, and just feeling everyone's excitement around you was really great.
I was crying happy tears just listening to the album and watching the videos of you guys in the studio. Like Factory Girls, it was on repeat, and it was just so special because for the people that can't make it to the show, you know, for them to have access to the incredible music, because I mean JRB, right? And the way you guys do it, so for them to hear it and, you know, to at least have part of the story, and it's just amazing that we can be spreading the message of this story through the music. It's so beautifully done.
Thank you.
I had to kind of go on a little tangent here because you both finished up school while doing the show. So what was it like juggling the show and school?
So I actually graduated in January, so I didn't have to tutor or anything like that, which I'm really grateful for. But it definitely, I made the decision to graduate early before I knew anything about Parade transferring to Broadway. But definitely, like, I'm so happy I made that decision, but it definitely was a lot of work. I had to take 2 English classes, 2 social studies classes, a science class, a math class, and 2 gym classes every day. So it was definitely a lot to do, but I'm so happy that I did it. And I know that that work paid off, and that was the right thing to do, because I believe everything happens for a reason. And now I just have the show. So I'm very grateful for that.
That's great. So my experience is a little different. I'm a senior in high school. I did tutoring during City Center because it was 3 weeks. I just continued with my normal classes and I had a tutor help me out. And then when we found out it was transferring, I switched to an online program with my school that's self-paced, and I'm done with my gov class. I'm 80% done with English, and then I have 1 science class and I'm done. Yay. So yay, I've really been trying to like schedule out time in my day to like sit down and do it. And it can be hard when you have all this exciting stuff going on, and now it's like, oh, I'm gonna go home and do homework now. Like, but you know, you get it done, and yeah, especially Mondays, so great. I'm super productive.
Because you're on for most of the show.
Yeah.
So, like, intermission is like we were talking about earlier, like a laugh session, like a calm down, not like a homework session.
Yeah. Our intermission was like that.
It's like they're like 5 minutes, and I'm like, what? And go.
But I think it's so amazing because I find I'm a big procrastinator sometimes when it comes to work. So I can't imagine what it's like to be juggling, you know, doing the show and having to do schoolwork. It's crazy. I can't imagine what that's like. And you'll be done by the time the show closes, right?
Oh, I'll be done like I think in the next month or so with the pace I've been going. So yeah.
The show closes August. I see you guys closing week. Can't believe it. So looking back on everything you have achieved in this industry, what advice would you give your younger self entering the industry?
I think I would tell my younger self to be more confident and trust myself more, and to tell myself like everything that's meant for me will come to me. And like I said, everything happens for a reason. And I think confidence growing up was definitely a thing that I had to work on, which I think a lot of people have the same thing to deal with. But I think it's really important to tell yourself, like, you are you and you should love who you are and you're doing enough. And I think that's really important. And I would love to tell my younger self that.
I think I would say to never lose sight of why you're doing theater, and always remember the joy that it brings you and it brings others, and to just keep going. Like, even when you're having a rough day or you had a bad audition, don't give up. And you shouldn't care what others think. You shouldn't compare yourself to others, and really just forge your own path and do what makes you happy.
I love that so much, Emily and Sophia. Thank you so much for joining me on the Inspiration Show. You are both beyond incredible, and it was such an honor to speak with you. Thank you for inspiring me.
Thank you so much. You inspire me.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like,
it's amazing.
It's so cool that you do this, that you're so organized and professional, and on top of it, super impressive.
And you're 14?
Almost 15, yeah.
Oh my gosh. When's your birthday? Is it soon?
The 27th. So I'll see you guys when I'm 15.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's so great. That's great.
This was so special.
Yes.